Good evening. Welcome to this year's event, the 2023 State of the City Address. Just make sure we have refreshments for you. I want to thank Gila Hogs for being here. Cowboy Kettle Corn. Don't forget to get your sweets out. A little sweet tooth. His nurse is back in the back. Thank you for being here. I want to thank our staff also for setting up this event and the Garland Project for allowing us to use their setup here that they used this morning for their opening. So to begin, I want to invite Levi Johnson up so he can lead us in the pledge. And for those of you under the canopy, I guess you'll have to stare at the post and try to move that. Everybody else is in. So Levi.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now I'd like to invite Chief Gary Robinson to lead us in invocation.
Our Father, we're grateful unto thee this opportunity we have to gather together as a community. We're grateful for those whose efforts have gone into making this, and for those whose daily efforts go to help improve our community, for those who serve and volunteer to help make our community a better place. We ask thy blessings upon these proceedings and those here. Please allow the messages that are to be presented to come across in a way that will be of benefit and information to those who have come to listen and learn. Please bless those families here in their activities this evening as they travel home. And these things we pray for in the Son, Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Thank you, Gary. Before I get started, I just want to acknowledge a few people, a few individuals. I know there's so many other ones from different organizations, but at least the elected officials. And please pardon me if we didn't get them all. We have Gila County Supervisor Kim Humphrey. Gila County Supervisor Woody Klein. Jordan Reardon, Justice of the Peace. Anita Escobedo, Clerk of the Superior Court. We have Mayor Angel Medina from Miami. And Robert Jock, Tri-City Sanitation District Board President. I'm also honored here to introduce your city council as they sit behind me. We're missing two of them, but I'd like to introduce all of them. Again, these are dedicated individuals committed to the good and the growth of your city. I want to introduce first District 1, Freddie Rios. District 2, Mike Pastor, who is not with us tonight. In District 3, Jesse Leatham. District 4, Vice Mayor Mike Stapleton. District 5, Mariano Gonzalez. And District 6, Fernando Shipley is not able to be with us tonight either. I also want to thank our dedicated staff. These are employees that are committed and dedicated to take care of you, our customers, to provide high-quality customer service every day. Thank you so much for what you do. Thank you for helping this council meet our goals as we continue to grow our city. So we can give our staff a round of applause, please. This year's theme is Globe Forward. And tonight, I will share with you what that means as we continue to elevate our city to another level. And more importantly, I want to explain so many projects that are going on at this point. Projects that are completed, projects that are in the process, and projects for the future. So what does Globe Forward mean? This theme is a plan with many parts to it. For our council and our staff, this means as we plan for our future and prepare for growth, we are focused on a greater quality of life for our residents now and for the future. For the past 6 years, your city council has worked to build a foundation for a 21st century civic model through hard work and dedication with a shared vision and goals and planning. Your city council has worked with city administrators and staff to create a pathway to a diverse and thriving economic future. We remain focused on updating our aging infrastructure, economic development through business growth and tourism, improving quality of life, and increasing our housing options. But with growth, we know comes a greater demand for services from our city and a higher expectation of exceptional and efficient service. We are aware that this will mean an increase in the capacity of all our city departments to help manage our resources and the many projects coming to fruition. This year, your council approved a $65 million budget, about a $23 million increase from last year's budget. This increase reflects an additional $21 million in the anticipation of proposed grant awards. Our operating budget remains stable at around $15.5 million. with an addition of our restricted 2.5 million fund balance, which brings our total operating budget to $18 million. And the balance of the $20 million includes our special revenue funds and enterprise funds. This year's budget shows the groundwork the city has laid and reflects years of hard work and planning, and reinforces our efforts to continue the strong growth and investment in our community, and to plan for a measured and well-tracked fiscal year, bringing projects to fruition now and in the future. This is all made possible through developed relationships with state and federal agencies, as well as private partners. Another important part of Globe Forward is the protection of our business community, to make sure that growth doesn't outgrow our codes by updating our fire codes and our building codes, having a strong code enforcement program, and a fair and consistent permitting process. It is not fair that a business owner invests their life savings to open a small business and a business next door allows theirs to deteriorate. We need ways to protect your investment and our investment in our historic downtown district. We all witnessed the devastation in 2005 of our historic downtown, a fire that destroyed our 4-story Pioneer Motel and our historic Globe Theater. And here recently in the town of Miami, a fire destroying 4 structures and seriously injuring a local firefighter that continues to recover in the hospital. Having updated fire codes and building codes with consistent inspections helps decrease those hazards that may cause a fire, putting the public and our firefighters in harm's way. We are also focused on creating a more beautiful and inviting community through initiatives such as Globe Clean and Beautiful, Heal Proud, and other programs, keeping our highway corridor clean and maintained. But it doesn't just end with our corridor. Efforts with our codes and code enforcement, in partnership with our citizens, we are focused on sponsoring neighborhood cleanups 3 times a year and connecting local businesses with resources to improve the curb appeal. Encouraging all our residents to take pride in their neighborhoods, to address neighborhood blight, because it will take all of us to make it happen. As we continue to protect and revitalize our unique community, to make Globe a destination and not just a drive-by city, where investors and developers want to come and people want to come here to live. We are at the crossroads to many destinations in all geographical directions. We want to take advantage of the 30,000 vehicles that drive through our community daily, non-city residents that utilize our roads and our services and use their purchases and sales tax revenue to help pay for the resources they use while they're visiting our city, decreasing the total burden on our own city residents. The final part of Globe Forward is to seek funding to bring projects to fruition. I will now talk about several projects and their funding sources, those completed, those in progress, and those pending for the future. And as I describe these projects, remember, it has taken years of planning to get to this point. Nothing happens overnight. And as I wrote down these projects, I was amazed as to how many things are happening. So I think it's worth the time to be able to give you a brief description of what's going on. So the completed projects, we all know our community center pool. This is a $4.3 million project built with established partners and stakeholders. An amazing community facility that turned out above our expectations, with a new entry building, 0 entry pool, a 2-story double slide, heated pool, bulkhead for competition swimming, and a splash pad. This summer's peak average daily was about 200 people, with no charge for the first summer. The Piranha swim team had around 70 participants this year, and for the first time in the history of the Globe School District, Globe High School had an AIA competition swim team. We are currently seeking additional funding to complete the concession stand and the enclosed private party area. I would like to now thank and acknowledge all those partners and stakeholders that contributed to build this facility. City of Globe, Cobra Valley Regional Medical Center, Gila County, Freeport McMoran, BHP Copper, Capstone Pinto Valley, United Fund of Globe Miami, Arizona Complete Health, First Interstate Bank, APS, and Southwest Gas. Please give them a round. And moving forward, the City of Globe has committed to the annual operation maintenance to maintain this pool for our community. Next is the playground equipment at the community center. If you've seen new equipment there, that was a $100,000 project. That was totally funded by BHP Copper. We had a community center sewer line project, a $1.5 million project that was paid for partially by WIFA funds, and that was the installation of sewer lines from the community center to Jess Hayes Road to the city hookup. And we were able to hook up all our city facilities on city sewer and take them off septic tanks. This also created an opportunity for others in the path to also hook up directly to city sewer. The Hill Street Realignment Project. This is a $1.5 million project. This was funds allocated from the state. It was for the realignment of the intersection of Wallaman and the new Connie's Bridge, paving of Hill Street from Ash to Wallaman, and installation of sidewalks. The playground equipment here at Veterans Park, similar to the ones at the community center, those were a $100,000 project funded by BHP Copper. And we see more improvements here at Veterans Park. We spent another $160,000 on a project for sidewalk and benches that are in, and funding was provided under the CDBG grant, Community Development Block Grant. And we receive this grant every 3 years in partnership with Miami and Superior. In the process, we also upgraded our lighting system and electrical hookups in the parking lot for events. And we still have one more project. I think we have 4 more benches to put in and a canopy, shade canopy for people to enjoy the park. Connie's Bridge, these are projects are in progress now. Connie's Bridge, it's a $4.4 million project, $3.4 million direct appropriation from the state. Projected time of completion is December of 2023. We did have a slight delay that a lot of individuals or residents had asked about. We had issues with the cement columns that are set deep in the ground that required some remediation, which is now complete. So now we can see that go vertical now as it passes testing. The Michelson Building. This building is at South Broad Street and Sycamore. This is a partnership between the county and the city. We are awarded $750,000 of federal funds for the construction and build out for the future. When this is completed, this will be a building, a co-workspace, a business incubator, and a downtown visitor center. The Gorman Project, Hill Street Cool Apartments, and they just had their grand opening this morning. That's a $21 million project. It's a 64-unit affordable senior housing project by the Gorman Company. And again, like I said, they had their grand opening this morning. This project includes the renovation of Old Hill Street School, plus an additional building that will be erected to the north and connected by an elevator system. The City of Globe worked closely with the Gorman Company to help expedite the process to meet the guidelines and deadline of the application, so they, in order to qualify for that 9% tax credit to make this project happen. This funding was the first time it was ever awarded to a rural community for this type of project, and now is a model for other rural communities in Arizona. Not only will it add housing to our community, but it will provide an attractive facility to our southeast entry to our historic downtown area. Jess Hayes Road, sidewalk project. I'm going now to pending projects. This is a $3.5 million project. These funds were allocated this year in this year's state budget. We want to thank our District 7 State Representative David Cook for pushing this project at the state level. This will be installation of sidewalks from the new Connie's Bridge to Six Shooter Canyon and the college. Major improvement for the safety of the public walking up and down this road. Outdoor exercise equipment, $100,000 project funded by BHP Copper. This is outside exercise equipment that would be installed at our active adult center. Cottonwood Bridge replacement. This is a $3.8 million project, and we were awarded a funding from the federal allocation to the state of Arizona for the replacement of Cottonwood Bridge. Replacement of downtown sidewalks, $2.7 million project. The grant has been submitted in federal funding request through an ADOT award, and we're waiting for the final approval. The Silver King building down on North Broad Street, the City of Globe purchased this building last year, and it's a property at the base of the Pasco Stairs in Starizona. The intention for our council is to tear down this building and create more downtown parking in North Broad Street. And we've also put a small park there with private funding. Downtown water bottle filling stations. This is a $50,000 project, again funded by BHP Copper. A lot of people like to walk downtown, exercise. You'll have the opportunity to fill your water bottles downtown in certain blocks. Yuma Bridge replacement, $2.8 million project. We received, or we grant funding by the Arizona legislature, administered by Central Arizona government, and we're pending final approval on that request. The McCormick Tunnel, $100,000 for a study. We have a tunnel that we have concerns that maybe have some failures. We were awarded the $100,000 from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to do the study and see where we move on from here. New fire station. This is a $13 million project, and this is to replace our 100-year-old plus fire station. We have already purchased the property to build it, and the address is 703 East Ash Street. For those of you that live here a long time, it's the old medical building prior to 3rd and Ash. We have submitted an application for a loan approval through SDA, and we also have requests for grant funding under federal infrastructure funds to help decrease the city, or the amount to the city. We hope to get some funds from the federal infrastructure. We are not planning to go out to bond for this, but we'll pay the monthly loan amount with a part of the 1 cent sales tax increase, utilizing sales tax revenue from visitors to help pay the cost and keep the total burden off our residents. The design is complete. Next phase is to tear down the building, and we hope that's completed by the end of 2023. Water line replacement project, $1.2 million project earmarked by Congressman Gallegos. This is to identify and replace various water lines within the City of Globe. The Northeast Corridor Plan, this is a $4.5 million project, submitted application for USDA for funding. And we just released, we found out, is we received funding for the Beshmegal Revitalization Project. This is a $160,000 project. It's funded from the Freeport-McMoran Foundation Community Investment Fund. And this is for the revitalization of the 1- and 2-story pueblos that are deteriorating. We need to make sure that those structures are sound for the future. Our water meter replacement project, this is a $3 million project, funding from WIFA Water Conservation Grant. And this is to replace our old water meters within the city with new, more reliable meters that are read automatically. Fairgrounds water line replacement project. This is a $3 million project funded under the 595 CORES project, sponsored by Congressman Stanton, and these are for phase 1 and 2 to replace existing water line that we continue to have problems with when the temperature changes. So as you can see, it's quite a list, as I mentioned earlier. A lot of things happening in Globe, Arizona. I hope that our residents can appreciate the amount of work and planning that has taken place to get to this point. It starts with a vision from your city council, setting goals and putting a plan in place, and not being distracted to slow down the process by natural disasters or negative resistance, being patient to get to the finish line. And none of this is possible without having an aggressive legislative agenda, a talented staff to apply for these funds, and the expertise within our city staff to complete and administer these projects. And this is an amazing stat. By the end of 2023, Globe will have received $18 million in state and federal funding, with an anticipated additional amount of $7.7 million in 2024. And for the first time in the history of the City of Globe, your City Council attended the National League of Cities Conference in Washington, D.C. this year to learn more about all the funding opportunities that are available and how to take advantage of them, and to meet and talk to other elected officials throughout the United States that are dealing with similar issues as ours. This trip also included staying an additional day with the coordination of our Washington lobbyists to meet one-on-one with several of our legislators and make presentations on several projects requesting federal funding assistance to help make these projects come to fruition. So in closing, I mentioned it before, as you can see, a lot of projects I just presented, and the amount of activity that is happening now in our city. Activity that I have never seen in my working 30 years with the City of Globe and 7 years here serving you as mayor. Please be patient with us as we go through this uncharted territory of growth. Over the past several years, we have come a long way to achieve our goals in accordance to our strategic action plan. And although there are many more challenges ahead of us, these challenges present us with new opportunities to help unify and strengthen Globe. We will continue to look at things that have worked well for us, such as our signature First Friday event that has continued to gain momentum, providing a quality of life event to our community and bringing thousands of visitors to our city. We are seeing a change now from 6 years ago, where our council and staff were asking the questions and seeking information on how other rural communities have been successful in attracting visitors to their city. But this year, attending the annual League of Cities Conference in Tucson, we were not the ones asking for advice, but we were the ones giving advice. Elected officials from other cities asking us how we did it. The word is out about the interest and activity and projects that are happening here in Globe. You know, dreams are only dreams unless you put them in motion with a vision, with goals, and a plan for the future. I challenge you to get involved. Become a volunteer in the community. Volunteer to be on a committee or an organization. Go to our Citizens Academy to learn more about our city's function and operations. Come to our council meetings held every second and fourth Tuesday of the month. Globe Forward is a call to action for all of us. Whether you're a community member or one of our home staff or a city resident, come to the table and be part of the movement. There's room for all of us to bring Globe forward, be part of the change. Again, thank you for attending here today. Please enjoy the rest of the evening, get something to eat, enjoy the music. We're gonna have Marty and the Buzz, and they will be playing till 8 o'clock. Again, thank you for attending this event.